What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to KvltDeFi. This is the channel where we bring you the latest and greatest innovations in tech in decentralized finance, quite specifically on PulseChain. And tonight, we are almost continuing the little series that I guess we started with Emit Farm the other night. Basically, I am very, very impressed and very intrigued, shall we say, about all these different yield type of scenarios and protocols that are starting to pop up on PulseChain. We're starting to see a lot of them. Well, this is like something I said the other night on the Emit stream. I think it's actually really it's really like a positive move, a step in the right direction, that we see a lot of these different protocols are actually starting to work together, and they're starting to, leverage each other, if you like, to really to take their own protocols and existing protocols to the next level. Tonight we're going to be talking about the ease of use with all of these yield farms, explain them a bit more, because I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that actually really don't understand how to use these things, which ones might be best for you, how they benefit each other, and how they benefit the whole PulseChain ecosystem, right? I'm very fond of saying PulseChain needs absolutely everything, right? We need the good stuff, the bad stuff, the ugly stuff. We need all of that stuff, and these yield farms I see is absolutely one of the different types of protocols that it's getting a lot of attention, it's getting a lot of people's eyeballs, and people are starting to make some real money out of it, right? I will start by saying this is not financial advice. Obviously, I'm just a guy on the internet. Let's talk about cool things, and in my opinion, this stuff is actually really, really cool. So tonight we have two guests. Actually, we have Crypto Bros, who is from the Radon team, and we have MVS Crypt, who is also doing a hell of a lot of marketing these days. He's actually on fire. There we are. How are you doing this evening, gentlemen?
Howdy, howdy.
Thanks for having us.
Hey, thanks for being here. Yeah, like I said in the introduction, I really think this everything that you guys are doing is an absolute positive, right? I mean, obviously you've got the marketing part down, and now there's protocols out there who are actually building some really, really cool stuff, right? Crypto Bro, so we have been chatting really for the last couple of weeks, I guess. How long have you been in PulseChain? How did you get started with all this stuff?
Yeah, great place to start. So I've been in crypto since the last bull cycle. I think I was buying Ethereum at about 800, and started getting into what was going on there on as everybody else does with a centralized exchange account, buying the blue chips that everybody hears about at first. And then as I started kind of watching influencers and educators, started learning about DeFi. So I missed DeFi, the first DeFi summer on Ethereum, but caught the second wave on Binance. So Pancake Swap, I think, really kicked off the model of DEX and yield farms that we see today. And so, yeah, there was dozens and dozens of Pancake Swap forks trying to do different DEXs and yield farms last cycle that I participated in. Also was involved in the PulseChain sacrifice. I sent in $800 of BNB, if I remember correctly, and then had to endure the long wait with everyone else. Heard PulseChain finally launched, and logged in, played around with PLS, PLSX, and Inc. Yield farming when PulseX was new and offering some pretty high APRs. Also, everything was really close to sack price, so it was a pretty exciting time. I did miss the Hex era. I heard about it, but I think it was up to 30 cents by the time I heard about it. So PulseChains and PLS were my first entries into Richard Hart crypto products. And so as we know, PulseChain has had a history, and after that first part, kind of just went back to regular life, working, taking care of the family. not paying too much attention to crypto up until the election time bull run, I think last year. Logged back in and saw some projects pumping on PulseChain, the cores moving. So got online and started checking out the projects, the telegrams, found Nexion. I think they were about day 5 or 7 into their 2-week auction launch. So been with them almost since day 1, and invested in various other teams and projects along the way until becoming a founder myself 6 months tomorrow, so February 5th, when I launched Radon. And here we are 8 coins later.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
exactly. 8 coins. We were discussing that in the green room. You're absolutely on
Excuse me
fire,
just a
man.
minute. Thank you. Yep.
Pretty cool.
And
Yeah.
and MVS, tell some people about you, right? You've got the monster thread. You're starting to do a lot of marketing. Even I think even Somi now is starting to create videos based around your monster thread, which goes out every week. So that's really, really cool stuff. Congratulations, man. It's really successful so far.
I appreciate it. Yeah, it's catching on. Well, I've been part of PulseChain pretty much since Hex, since before PulseChain. So always, being around different communities, just getting involved. And a good part of this year, I just decided to try and create some sort of content that would bring value to the community. And then I came up with the monster thread with the Kryptonite show, Superman. You may know.
I do indeed.
Yeah, and yeah, it's been a blast so far. Just helping all these projects to get out there and get some exposure. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm really enjoying seeing what's happening, right? Especially like a lot of collaborations that are going on between protocols. There's a lot of people who, I'm very fond of saying, like, steel sharpens steel, right? There's a lot of people out here, especially on PulseChain, that obviously we have the maxi side as well, right? The people who are literally RH tickers and nothing else. But then we have people who are maybe taking a chance and trying something different and trying something new, because like I say, PulseChain needs everything along the way. So it's really, really cool that that you guys are out there doing your thing. I mean, Crypto Bro, right? You've got 8 different tokens, and they all seem to have come like a pretty quick snap, actually. Do you want to explain the tokens, how they all benefit each other, and give us a little bit of rundown on each one?
Maybe he's somewhere. So I'll just maybe take over the lead and just give a quick rundown of the website then.
Sure. Hang on. Let me share a screen here. I'll share the Radon screen. How's that?
Cool. So yeah, the website. Just a quick shout out to Donny D from Function Island. He's the mastermind behind the designs and the websites. So if you go on the top left and you click on Radon, you'll be able to see all the tokenomics, the chart, and also a couple options. If you hold any Radon, you would be able to see as well your balance and also how much rewards you have pending, and also the US value, right? So if you see the tokenomics right there, you can see that it's got a 1.6% buy and burn dark, 1.7% buy and burn neon, which is the token, the native token from Nexion, which is the mother protocol, so to speak, behind it all. And it gives you 3.8% in EDI reflections. Oh, sorry, in EDI yield, and 1.5% in Radon reflections. So that was the original token behind the ecosystem. And I think Crypto Bro is back.
Yes.
All right. So
All
we were
right, we're
just
talking
talking.
some radon, huh?
We were just
Yeah,
talking
we're
a little bit.
just walking through Radon, and it's tokenomics. So it says here, right, on the website, how Radon works. So Radon is a fixed supply reflections-driven token with additional reward mechanics. Every buy, sell, and transfer incurs an 8.6% fee, which is split between buying and burning, both dark and neon, like we just said, as well as rewards in EDI and more reflections in Radon.
Yeah. So it was launched with 8.6 on the buy and sell, so that we would get the yield and reflections with with the kind of the diamond hand narrative, that and investing strategy that a lot of the team that was involved when Radon was first launched, right? It was like, how can we design a coin that is always providing more for holding, and then what could be the reward that's kind of like neutral, I guess, like it would always be in fashion, because there's lots of tax printers that print cores like PLS and ink, or even meme coins, but what would you want a coin to print, whether bear or bull? And so took a little inspiration actually from the Emmet single staking, and decided to go with EDI stable coins. And so the other innovation that was launched with Radon was that I, as the founder, kept a OA treasury wallet, basically. So Radon was launched with 100 million supply, and the treasury kept 20% of that. And because Radon's always earning reflections and EDI yield, and when launched, the treasury was the largest holder, it could use those reflections and yield, for various purposes like marketing, buybacks for price support, adding liquidity, etc. Because we had been involved, a lot of us, including myself, had been involved in projects where, the founders were as dry on funds as any of the other investors, right? It's it's kind of the decentralized trustless model, right? The founders launch it and then throw away, all access and control, so that there can be more trust there. But they also lose a lot of, their ability to do anything,
Exactly.
to assist the project. So those were some of the things we were exploring launching Radon. It was self-funded and self-launched, so that was another thing. We'd seen a lot of sacrifice type projects on PulseChain that all have very similar looking charts, right? If you weren't in on that launch pump, then it's just kind of, you're riding forever down and encouraged a diamond hand in DCA. So I actually tried to do it a different way. I used my own funds, launched Radon at 1.1 TVL, 1.1K TVL and market cap. Literally $200 of PLS, $200 of Dark Horse, and $300 of Neon, paired up with the initial supply of Radon, and then launched. And yeah, you can see from the chart there, we had 50x was basically our all-time high. We ran from 1K to 50K, and now we're holding at about a 20. We've just been building that floor ever since. So
yeah. So what was the whole idea that it was just going to be Radon, or was the original plan that there was always going to be this, like, as you call it, this exosystem of tokens?
yeah, that's a great question. Envy, you want to touch on that real quick? I'll be back in just a second.
Yeah, no problem. So I met Crypto Bro pretty much in the first Monster Thread, the first edition of the Monster Thread. They hit me up. They wanted to be in it. And then we started to getting to know the ecosystem, and it was just Radon at the time. And one of these days, I joined the voice chat in the Telegram, and there was a bunch of people in there, and they just throwing ideas at each other, and then the farming idea comes up, and just like that, like a consensus from the core community, everybody decided, oh yeah, let's try these farms on Nexion, because it basically allows people to create their own small little ecosystems without having to pay for a dev. So you can do everything for a nominal fee of $30-40. So that just changes the game for all the small developers, so to speak, right? All the smaller people on the chain. So then that's how Greed started. We came up with a name. Everybody voted on a name, and we came up with the first reward token for the farms, which was Greed.
Greed.
And
Yes.
oh, yep, you can go.
Yeah. No. Well. Yeah. As he was saying, you know, we were as just a token project, right? There's a lot. There's a lot of single token kind of projects. We started shopping around for a yield farm like Emit or Vox to partner with, that we could incentivize the community to provide some liquidity and earn some yield while we're all waiting on number go up. But yeah, as that wait went longer and longer, we started saying, what can we do ourselves? And then with the Nexion staking factory, the only barrier was we have to provide our own rewards. And a lot of the projects that had experimented with Nexion at the time were, doing like PLS pairs, like it would be like a Radon PLS, and you're earning some Radon just as the incentive that maybe the team provided out of their own supply. However, there's a problem with providing your own token as the reward, right? Because what do people usually do with reward tokens?
Yeah, exactly. Everything just it's a constant sell pressure that you just don't want, right?
Exactly. So rather than have them selling Radon to be able to, LP and farm Radon, we came up with another token as the reward, um, as Envy was saying, and what to call it? Why not just be honest, and call it greed?
Yeah, so I'm actually looking at the website here. It says that Greed is the emission engine and liquidity web weaver of the ecosystem, with a 1.5% buy tax and a 9% sell tax. And it says that Greed routes value directly to the ecosystem by distributing equal portions of PLS Greed and Radon to its treasury.
Yep.
So that's
Exactly.
pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, so that is an innovation that no other yield farm has, except for possibly Emit, with his integrated tax on the Emit token that sends EDI to his Emit single stakers. But people have to be staked to earn that. So once again, we asked ourselves, okay, what do people do with reward tokens? Worst case scenario, they sell the stables and leave, right? Best case scenario, they're going to sell half and pair it up and redeposit and keep compounding. So, okay, we're saying this thing is going to get sold, and it sure as heck isn't going to get held. So no need to provide any direct yield for holding the token. We want it in pools, growing TVL. So we know it's going to be sold. Let's recapture some of that value on the way out, right? And send it to this treasury idea that we had started with Radon. So it's a small buy tax, so that there's always a bit of stream going to the treasury. But it's not too much, it's not like a disincentive to buy it. And then the real taxes on the sell. So yeah, greed was, but really it's offset, but Radon has an 8.6 on the buy and sell. So even though these reward tokens have a higher sell. They're really lower tax altogether than the printer tokens. That's just a little aside I've noticed lately. But so greed, when sold, sends 3% PLS and 3% greed back to the treasury, and then it also does a buy on Radon as a support and sends that to the treasury as well. And that was also self-funded, self-launched at about 4K TVL. 4K TVL and maybe 200K market cap, somewhere in there. Launch price was $12. Yeah. And so we were able to build an entire, if you went to Nexion Flux Farms, we can show
Yep.
oh yeah, they got the new look on there now. That's a brand new UI skin there, that hyper neon there. Very cool. Yeah, so if you type greed in the little text box there on the right, you'll see all the incentivized greed pairs on here. And so with greed, it replicates a traditional yield farm where you can come with any of the PulseChain cores, P-Hex, E-Hex, even PDI and PWBTC fans can come buy some greed, pair it up, and I think if we look, our least paying core pools on there are still 1% a day, and that's just over 2 months later.
Nice. Yeah, there's lots of people pairing lots of things with this. So yeah, I see that greed and E-Hex, and then we have greed and P-Hex as well.
Yeah. And yeah, so this to me, for investors out there, is a really great opportunity, considering where we are in the market with us coming up off bottoms. It's a really good opportunity to make some LP and ride that price appreciation up on both tokens.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, what these farms allow people to do, right, is just what tax tokens try to do, is provide some yields without having to sell your assets while waiting for a peak of the bull run to take maximum profit. Here, somebody can earn, we hear a constant cry of, oh, if I only had some funds, I got to wait till payday, I got to bridge in fresh powder, or, oh, I don't want to sell these tokens till they go up to roll into these tokens. So these can become a stream of fresh powder, per se, right here on PulseChain without having to bridge in anything, And so, I think it's widely known that DCA, dollar cost averaging, is the proven most effective strategy, both buying in and selling out. And, daily rewards is a perfect setup for that, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
If I can touch on that a little bit. I've been trying the next-gen farms with the Radon Exosystem since the launch of Greed. And at the beginning, it was paying about 10 to 20% a day. It was really, really fruitful. And then the game theory behind it is that there are 7 deadly sins, right? So greed, being the first sin released, was the smallest, so to speak, because it was kind of a proof of concept. So then after the 2 months with those pairs you have on screen, there are several of those. There are basically collabs with the Radon ecosystem, such as Hard with Dog, Nuke the Supply, Club 369, and many others, right? So then, once the second sin was ready to be launched, which was Rage, they changed the focus from collabs to more of core token farming, right? So then maybe we can make the bridge towards the Rage token launch, and just do a brief breakdown of it.
So with some of the differences with greed, as opposed to say emit or any other yield farm, is the way they're able to pay rewards is by constantly creating new tokens per second at some rate. PulseX, for example, when it launched incentivizing pairs with core coins, it was producing ink token at 1 per second, or about just under 90,000 new tokens a day.
Mm-hmm.
And it's that money minted out of thin air that provides the revenue to pay the incentives. With Nexion, they don't have that sort of emissions contract, so what we end up doing is launching a capped supply token, like Greed, Rage, and Envy. They're all capped at 11,000 total supply, which is, I think you'd agree, ultra rare.
Yeah, big time.
Supply wise. Yeah. So that supply doesn't go up ever, right? It's not being inflated every second. So holding, 100 of any of those tokens is a whale position now and forever.
Mm-hmm.
And so because it's limited supply, if we didn't put in any sort of loop system, recycling system, eventually the treasury would run out of tokens and the farms would go away, right? All the tokens would have been emitted. So with the deposit and withdrawal fees on the farm, when people put LP in and out, the treasury gets back those pairs as that's transacted, and also whenever the tokens are sold, as we discussed, a certain portion goes back to the treasury. The treasury then uses the recycled reward tokens to top off reward pools. They can be charged up at any time. And so as those come in, APRs can actually go up as those are added. And we're planning on adding like a voting feature so that people can vote on their favorite pool to receive new rewards, each week.
Nice. I like the idea of doing something with a DAO. I mean, you've got a very engaged community anyway. I mean, your Telegram is absolutely blowing up. I think it's great, and you guys have the regular VCs in there, regular voice chats. There's always someone in there. No, I think it's really cool. I think it's really cool. I mean, I'm looking here at the Rage tokenomics, right? And yeah, so it seems that everything goes towards feeding the treasury and the reflections, which is great.
Yes.
What about Zion, Phosphora, and all these other tokens then?
Sure. So, yeah, there's really kind of two sides to our ecosystem. We've got our farming SIN tokens, and then our elemental tax printer tokens.
Mm-hmm.
So we can kind of talk about them as a class, like Radon and Phosphora, and then most recently Alimentium are all tax yield printers with reflections. Phosphora was launched as a part of a collaboration with the Pulsarian Guild, who had a token factory quite a while back that's been discontinued, but there was a whole, Pulsarian ecosystem and yield farm that they launched, that we've been working with to it's not a community takeover, kind of like to revive a community revitalization. So Phosphora is a PLS printer as opposed to Radon being a stablecoin printer. It prints PLS, which on PulseChain, is always appreciated, right? We all need gas money. It also prints a little bit of Radon and one of the Pulsarian coins, Aura, which is itself a PLS printer. So it actually prints PLS and another PLS printer that prints PLS. And
Interesting
so,
loop right
yeah,
there.
yeah. And so, I wanted, my community to have a token that could keep them supplied with PLS, a way to bring some attention to the Aura token, which, just as a quick aside, um, it was described as the prototype to Phoenix PNX. It's got exactly the same tax settings, burnt LP, renounced contract. It was just never marketed and launched. But if you know about Phoenix PNX, that thing has over 300K of locked liquidity with PLS.
Hmm.
And, it's one of the most known tax print. And so Aura is basically the same token, but at 100, 100th the market cap. So, um, yeah, really, really, we've had a big theme of collaboration, partnership ever since Radon launched. We mentioned in conversation that Radon buys neon and burns it. So that's always a nod to Leif and T2, the devs at Nexion. Thanks to their tech, I've been able to do all of this. And then Dark Horse, which is a pump tires meme coin that I was involved in the CTO of that after the founder kind of walked away from that post pump tires launch. So that was being in the Dark Horse CTO was my first um, organizing people around a coin and marketing.
Hmm.
Um, and so, yeah, I coded that into Radon, so it was always connected like that. So, um, yeah, Phosphora PLS printer also gives you another PLS printer. It can be farmed on Nexion with any of our reward tokens at this point. Um, Zion is a zero tax meme coin that I launched off GoPulse. And it's really not been heavily marketed. People can buy it and farm it. Um, but it was launched with the future in mind of kind of more games and dApps that might not work so well with coins that have a tax setting, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, after lots of conversations with devs, where you talk to them, oh, could you make a game? Could you make a dApp? And then they're like, oh, does it have tax? You always hear that. So, um, as we start developing more actual apps and games, we'll see Zion start to play a bigger role. It's kind of our resident meme coin, really. Super low cap, pumpable. The treasury does buybacks. So that's our resident meme coin in the is it, and then do we have the latest? And then the last two launched last weekend were Aluminium and BDI.
Yeah, I see BDI. Zion and Aluminium are not on the Radon website as yet.
All right, I'll have to let our dev guy know. So BDI is our PDI killer, basically. It's the currency of the Radon Exosystem. It's not a stable or completely volatile asset either. Um,
Okay.
it's it may be a new class of crypto. I'm calling it anchored token or anchor value token, in that it has large liquidity with stables. So it was launched with EDI and USDC pools, but it itself can go up in price and has a small buy and sell tax that pays reflections.
Hmm.
Um, and so people can buy BDI, hold it, earn reflections. They can also farm it with Envy, uh, or stables. BDI is really the cornerstone that Envy was launched around, so that we have a place for stable coins and profit taking that's still within the liquidity web. If that's making
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because any other yield farm, you're going to find like maybe one stable coin pair. Just it has to be there for the few people that like to farm with stable coins. But with Envy, there's going to be BDI stable pairs with EDI, USDC, as well as all the PulseChain natives that have launched. So the Liquid Loan, USDL, Ink Dollar, Power Cities, PXDC, HexDC, even Coast. So that this week we'll have BDI pairs with all of those stables. And so it'll be a place to come get a nice yield on stables while, people are waiting to deploy those funds, or people taking profit. They can stash them in there, earn some funds before bridging out.
Mm-hmm.
And I
One
think
thing that
the sector
no,
that's
sorry, go
not
on.
really, that doesn't really have, that doesn't exist yet, is a really stable, focused yield platform. So we're hoping that people catch on to Envy and the new opportunity there.
Mm-hmm. One thing that I brought up when I was with Kairos the other night on stream was when Liquid Loans were doing their sacrifice, there was people coming up with all these different strategies, right? Like the haunted strategy was like probably the most famous one, and people were literally like just dropping all these various flow charts and everything for the community to say, okay, well, this is what you can actually do. I haven't seen many of those for Radon in your Telegram chat, but I think that would be absolute, gold dust for the community, because I mean, what exactly is sort of, I don't know, there's so many different ways to play it, but what would be the best practice or the best in class way to utilize all of your various tokens?
Yeah,
Like, what's
that is.
what's the master stroke?
Uh-huh. Yeah, that is a great question, and I agree. I'd love to see a lot of discussion around that, because we absolutely have a lot of game theory and ways to play this already. And yeah, those sort of discussions remind me of DeFi last cycle, when there were, people were just yield farms, basically, right? So
Mm-hmm.
um, with each coin, I wanted it to have its own narrative, so that they didn't compete with each other, and they offered more options to investors on PulseChain. So with greed, if somebody is into core coins or hex, there's a place to earn yield. With rage, if there's a PulseChain blue chip project that you own, like PTGC, UFO, Pulse Bitcoin, or you're into one of the other yield farms, Emmet or Vox, Pcoin, you can come farm with Rage, right? It's not core coins, it's other projects that are motivated and set to moon this cycle as well. We wanted to work with them. And then Envy is a place to earn stables and stack BDI as an alternative to PDI.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if you're into stacking stables, Envy. If you're into Pulse Chain alts, blue chips, Rage. If you're into core coins, Greed. If you're into Radon coins, any of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell us more about Envy then, right? So Envy launched yesterday.
Yes, it did. Mm-hmm.
Everything went smooth. You were telling me already. So
Very,
we're on the
very
way.
smooth. Yep,
Yeah.
solid, smooth as it goes.
Oh,
Um,
if I may, KvltDeFi, maybe you can pull up the Radon post about Envy in this monster thread that just came out yesterday.
I will. I don't have X
Maybe I'll
logged
send it to
on
you.
this account, but
Oh, I see. That's okay then.
But yes, I will actually share the link in the description after we've done this. Anyway, I'll share that down there. But yeah, everyone really should go and look at the monsters stream, the monster thread. It is great. Explains a hell of a lot about everything. And I actually did see that Envy post earlier too. But I can see already. Look, so we've got the Envy element, Aluminium, Envy Radon pool, Envy Zion pool, Envy Greed pool, Envy Phosphor pool, Envy Rage. Well, they're already way set up. And we've got APRs here of like 6,000, 4,000, 5,000.
Yep, big APRs initial. So there'll be the Envy pairs that are paying the most. And then if you sort by BDI, there'll be a BDI, I believe USDC, that will, we'll be expanding that with more stables. And you'll see there's still a nice percentage on that for stables.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think now I'm going to throw this to the community, right? I would love, me personally, right? I would love to see what kind of strategies you guys are putting in place to see how you're getting, the best rewards for you and the stuff that you like. I think that in itself will be fantastic. Not only for for content creation, right? For people, go and share your strategies all over X. I think it's phenomenal. Some of these APRs are fantastic. They really are. Especially like you were saying earlier, right? This time in the market, when we know things are going to start moving shortly, I think it's perfect timing. Perfect timing. Stack your tokens, build your positions, and literally, one thing which I don't think people, or especially people that I've been talking to about this over the last, I don't know, month or so, only some people seem to get how powerful this is, right? You can literally build your pulse. If you are a core kind of person, you can literally just use these and just build your own positions, right? Build your positions on Hex and then go and stake them out if you want. Build your positions on incentive token, and then again, like use some of the other, because there's so many now. I'm starting to see there's a lot of different yield farm opportunities, a lot of different. We've got the liquidity forks and all the rest of that too. There's so many ways. Somebody has the master stroke out there to make all these things work and create this money glitch that we're all that people love to throw around out there. It exists. Someone has the master stroke, right? And whether it's utilizing all of your tokens or whether it's utilizing your tokens plus some liquidity forks like Abdul's or plus the emit farms or just whatever. It's great. It's great. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. This is the fun stuff that we like to have over on PulseChain, right? We need all of this stuff. We need 10 times more of it. So I'm really interested to see how this is going to continue to keep branching out.
Yeah, so it's really exciting, this exosystem, so they call. And also I really like the way they gamified the deadly sins, right? So coming up to the third sin now, envy. So they stacked up on greed, and then they released their rage, and now they just collecting the envy of the ecosystem. And I think the next sin is supposed to be related to gluttony, right? Which is gonna be where people are gonna be able to kind of consolidate all their tokens towards a one big pool, a fat ass pool that just eats tokens. Yeah, I guess that's the game theory behind it.
Yeah, that and also we're going to incentivize pools with non-pulse blue chips as well. Yeah, we've been talking. We're maybe there comes a time in this cycle where people want to bridge in their BTC, their ETH, their Solana, rather than sell it into PLS to get into tokens here, but maybe they want to keep those tokens and get in on the DeFi that's on PulseChain, right? So then if there's a place they can just bridge those assets and pair them up, they don't have to sell them to get access to the yield that's on PulseChain, right?
Oh, smart move.
Just a little sneak preview.
Do you have any? So do you have any sort of timeline on, was it Gluttony then?
Yeah, so we're working towards, you know, kind of solidifying a near-term roadmap. You know, Greed got a solid month and a half before Rage was launched. Rage is just about had a month, so I think, yeah, Envy will get a good 2-3 weeks before we maybe start making noise about the next one. But the nice thing about people getting in now is any Rage, Greed, or Envy that they accumulate from now until then, they can use to participate in the donation round when Gluttony Farms launches.
Mm-hmm.
For example, so we were able to launch Envy with about 35,000 TVL across all its pools on launch. And that was made possible by Rage and Greed donations from the community that they'd been farming. So, like, for example,
I saw that. Sorry, do
Yeah.
you want to explain a bit about that? Because I saw that in the telegrams over the last few days.
Oh, hey. Yeah, I'd love to. So what happens when we launch another round of farms is we get at least a week for people to send in Rage and Greed, and for Gluttony's case, Envy. So I'll give you an example. The math works out this way. So let's say they send in $1,000 worth of tokens, and that's at launch price. So if they send it in and the price goes up or down, that we're all riding the same prices, right? So when they send in $1,000, I create the LP. I send them 1,400 worth of LP. So anybody that participates in the donation gets an immediate, 20% profit just in LP value over the donation value. Then they can deposit in the farms day one and earn the high initial APRs to just start stacking, so they can kind of hit the ground running. For our Envy Rage pool, for example, it's a day old, and I think it's nearing 10,000 TVL already from airdropped LP. So yeah, it's been a way for us to just kind of move value forward and keep building, and we just keep seeing bigger and bigger participation as we go.
And also, with that system, it takes the sell pressure out of people's hands under the promise of a bigger position in the next refreshed SIN system, so to speak.
Excuse me,
So
just a moment.
It's pretty good game theory there to kind of bring some sort of stability to the whole system, since it's already foreseen by anybody that joins it that there should be 7 phases to it, right? Since there is 7 deadly sins. So by the end of it all, there must be some sort of end game where all the sins maybe turn into the final virtue or something like that. That it could be some nice backstory to it. And also, it gives people stuff to talk about, right? Say you're being part of it
exactly
since the first, the second, the third sin, right? And then you get to talk to people about, they created, this funny little marketing stunts, and instead of just tokenomics, they had all these little stories going on and memes and whatnot, right? So just builds a little bit of culture behind the ecosystem.
No, exactly. I mean, that's what it's all about, isn't it? I mean, it's about giving the community something to do, right? Something which is obviously profitable for them, and then letting them have a bit of fun along the way. I think that's really, really cool.
Yeah, that's pretty much two. unique things about this ecosystem is that they go the extra mile to do these things and then create sort of stories behind the things that they're gonna release, and also the willingness to do so many collabs and borderline put money up front for people to come in and be able to farm and realize the better opportunity on Nexion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
What about your own token?
Oh, so it's actually a part of the Radon Exosystem, but that's basically the entry point for another section of the system, so to speak, which is gonna be the taxless section of the system, which is formed by Zion. You guys talked briefly earlier. Madi, which is the token I'm talking about, and Tin, which is from our community member Tindell. He just posted a couple of comments.
Who is here? Yeah, who's here with us?
So he's got a Nintendo, which is kind of like a word play on Nintendo. So it's pretty funny. And then from there, we can have sort of like a more another side of the ecosystem, not too focused on yield farming, but more like more focused into memes, and then as an entry for the farming ecosystem, right? Because once they are part of it, then it makes it easier for them to learn about yield farms and etc. So that's pretty much it. But all right, I'll show you a website. It's I'll just post it in the private chat here, and if you have a second, yeah, all right, check that out.
The outer voice. Oh yeah.
That one is more of a slow burner. We're getting close to it though. We'll have something for those 3 tokens very shortly. It's probably the next step of the Radon ecosystem. If we don't, yeah, if either that or gluttony.
Okay, and what sort of time frame are we looking at? Did we say you want to let Envy bed in for like about a month or so?
Yeah, that's usually the time before people start getting impatient, right? It's, oh, what's the next thing? But for 2-3 weeks it's really good yield, so people don't mind kind of having it for themselves, so to speak. And then once the TVL starts growing, then people start looking for better opportunities, right? But yeah, normally it goes for a month, and then the crypto bro here gets together with the community, and then they decide, oh yeah, you guys want in a couple weeks, and then they set up a deadline, start the new purge, so that of tokens towards the new scene, and then people just anticipate how many gains they're gonna get.
Yeah, it's kind of been hidden in plain sight. As we've been launching these, obviously, definitely.
We're losing you a bit, I think.
Yeah. So with Envy, there is it was launched around $70, and it's holding pretty well. So I think I'll drop the deck screener for Envy on the chat just for the people to have a look.
Oh, I think the market cap is around 800K, no?
Yes,
Can you guys
Dragon
hear me
Crypto.
okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, can you hear me okay? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, 800K. We're seeing, yeah, definitely the most solid price action we've seen post launch so far on this. So, um, knock on wood. And really, I think that's what we want to see with these reward tokens is just, them maintaining a certain value,
Hmm.
rather than any sort of, pumpamentals like you might want to see with a typical coin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah,
especially when
it's
it
typically really hellacious. I'll say it, hellacious, impermanent loss when these farms launch. Um, a lot of times they'll be paying 100% daily or more, right, for the people that are in first, um, because they launch with like 10 tokens and then start printing thousands a day.
Hmm.
And then if you don't, if investors don't play it very aggressive, and self-interested where they're extracting the most profit while prices are high, they just end up riding their deposit value down 99% eventually, and if they didn't take any profits and they just keep compounding, then finally what we see is the emission token reaching some sort of bottom way down from where it launched or reached post launch, and then they can just start stacking at relatively low APRs. It's kind of a longer game. um, and most of it's just trying to make back losses from the initial, unless you play it right. Yield farm is typically a risky play.
Hmm.
um, and so what we've been working towards is just real sustainability, um, and more predictable and steady price action. So yeah, I don't, having been a yield farmer myself, like I understand you don't want to jump into a yield farm early unless you know what you're doing, even though that's the most profitable time. So with Envy, instead of paying at hundreds to 200% daily, like a typical yield farm, or even 20 to 40% a day, like Rage and Greed were, uh, the top pools are printing just over 10%
Hmm.
uh, initially. So, yeah, even though there's still thousands of dollars of value being emitted every day in Envy token, not to mention Rage and Greed. Um, as a relative percentage of the value, it's still very sustainable.
No, good. So along with like Gluttony and the new tokens that are coming out, is there anything else specifically that you guys are building to bolt onto this, or is it just about
Yes,
bringing
big
those
news
other
there.
tokens?
Yes, big
Big
news.
news. Okay.
Yes, absolutely. So Axel dot win Axel DeFi
Hmm.
is another team that provides a token factory, and they've just launched lending on their platform where people can create peer-to-peer loans for assets on PulseChain. So what we're looking at is a way for people to borrow and lend with their reward, rage, greed, and envy, um, as a way to take profits without selling. So yeah, I'm really excited about this. Let me give you, so an example would be, um, somebody earns $150 of envy. Um, Now they could sell half of that to BDI and half to a stable to farm those pools, or the Treasury could offer a loan of $100 of USDC for that $150 of envy as a over collateralized deposit. So if the Treasury could offer stablecoin loans where they deposit $150 of Envy, borrow $100 at 1/4% or 0.5% of interest a day, go buy half of that with Envy, half of that of BDI, and deposit it, then they're earning 2 to 3% a day on borrowed money that only costs them 1/4 to 0.5% a day. And if we see that scale up, we could see a large portion of the reward token supply kind of locked up almost, right, in these contracts, and people just farming on borrowed money, that they can then use the rewards they're earning every day to pay back. So may turn
That
into
is,
sort of a
yeah, that's a smart move. I like that.
Okay, all right, yeah.
And what sort of ETA is there on that?
Yeah, I'm gonna be working on that over the next couple weeks for sure. Now that Envy's up and running, I can turn my attention to seeing what we can start offering on the lending side. Also, Nexion itself is launching a new upgrade called Glow that will allow people farming on Nexion to leverage on their deposits. So as opposed to the Axle where it's a peer-to-peer, Nexion will draw against single staked assets. So an example of that would be you have $100 of BDI NVLP, you deposit that into Glow, and you can borrow $500 of NV BDI LP and farm with that. And you just pay back the borrowed with a portion of the rewards, right? So you can get $500 worth of LP rewards with just $100 deposit. That could get really amazing. Obviously, with any borrowed money, there's risks of liquidation. So that, we'll have to figure out how to safely leverage against these assets. But if both of those were going, anybody in this ecosystem, right, that's earning every day is able to borrow and leverage against more assets every day. Could get pretty interesting with both of those
100%.
online, right? Yeah. It's really stuff we don't have, right? That's not widely used on PulseChain if it is. So
I think that's great. Hey, it sounds like you guys have a good plan, a good roadmap. That's obviously something that people look for a lot in teams and protocols, especially people to be following on a long-term basis, right? So we know that we've got the Envy is just out. So guys, look, go, and again, not financial advice, but I would suggest jump into the Telegram. So the Telegram, let me just remind myself, the Telegram is Radon 86. Is that right?
I just posted it in the private chat there for you. Radon 86 greed.
Oh, Radon 86 greed. Perfect. Okay. Yeah. So guys, I would say, yeah, do yourselves a favor and go and really go and check that out, right? Engage with the community. There's a lot of smart people over there, and I am waiting for the first person to come out and actually show some sort of flow chart on the best strategies that they've managed to find and utilize. I think that is going to be a great little key to success with this. We already know that communities are openly talking about what they're doing, but I think seeing some sort of graphics in place, I think will sort of boost this and take it to it's easily shareable content, right? If you can actually show your plan. But I think that's going to happen. Guys, also jump onto Twitter. Actually, I have the Twitter address here. I'll share that in the chat too. Is there anything else that I'm forgetting, guys? Telegram, your X.
Telegram is absolutely, basically ground zero. We have VCs in there quite often. Any question can be answered. Everybody, most of the people in there have been engaged with the community since the beginning or very early. So, yeah, open welcome to come join the Telegram. Keep an eye on our Twitter. We're always posting there. Definitely the monster thread. We've had a feature in there since issue number 1. So you can somebody could just go through each weekly monster thread and follow along with what we've been up to the last 14 weeks.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and we're looking to have some more YouTube content as well. Really appreciate this stream with you, KvltDeFi.
Yeah, no
Yeah,
problem, no problem.
100%.
You're welcome. This is just the first of many.
Yeah.
We can do this because obviously we know that Pulse Beats Miner is just around the corner too. So I want to be able to leverage that and leverage this YouTube content as well with you guys too. I think that's going to be a hell of a lot of fun. There are going to be videos coming out specifically about that shortly. We will be announcing the official launch date as well very shortly, right? So again, you just have to jump into the Telegram, jump onto X and find out a bit more about that. But I definitely want to do more videos with you guys. I am following intently and very closely. I'm partaking a little bit also. I like everything that I'm seeing so far, guys. I mean, it looks like you have the ability to make this go long term because, again, like you say, you're doing the 7 deadly sins. You can launch and things as you start to progress and as you start to go along. We know, or we believe at least, that the market is going to start turning the right way for us, right over here on PulseChain, which inevitably would just drag everything else up along with it. It's good. It's good. Like I have to say,
Yeah.
It's good. Well done. Well done. Really, congratulations.
Thank you, sir. And same to you. Yeah, I've been saying months and months and months. We need good staking, staking contracts on Pulse. Where are they? And so really glad that Pulse Beats Miner's coming, and the community is as well. We're talking about it quite often. So
Awesome.
Yep.
Is there anything else that you would like to say? Any parting words for the people?
If I could say anything, I would say, just take a little bit of time and give us a look. Join the Telegram, ask a question, check out the website. It's really the best yield on PulseChain by any metric. So worth at least a check. Yeah.
Yeah. Just wanted to thank you, KvltDeFi, for having us, and great stream as always. And for the audience, if you guys want to experience the first no inflation farms in the history of crypto, maybe, but definitely on PulseChain, make sure to check out Radon 86 Greed and show some support. Check it out. Dip your toes in there, and you might make some gains.
That's it. Hey, we're all in this for the gains, right? You might make some gains. Guys, if you are new to the channel, please do me a favor, like, subscribe, share this around, right? If you are one of the KvltDeFi community and you've come across, go and check out Radon. It's Radon, Emit. There's a bunch of new, even now the guys were just talking about Axel as well. There's a little corner of PulseChain is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and we're starting to see.
Way to put it.
It's we're starting to see. I don't like to use the word narrative, right? I don't like to use that, but I'm going to for this because it seems like this little corner of PulseChain is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and this yield, this yield farming narrative. I mean, I don't mean to use that word in a negative way at all. I think this is phenomenal, and I think one of the things which actually one of the reasons why I even decided to start streaming about this and engage with you guys in the first place was because I can see the you know, the cross collaborations that are happening between protocols. You know, it's not a kill or be killed. It's not, okay, you know, oh, I'm doing something quite similar to you, so we're competition. It's not about that. It's about exactly what the fundamentals of PulseChain are, and that's people coming together in order to try and help each other and try and build this city of PulseChain, which we all desperately want and need before the real masses start to come here, you know. And I'm starting to see that. I'm starting to see it in all the various telegrams. I've been, you know, I've been having some really good conversations with a lot of you out there, and I don't think this is slowing down. If anything, I think this is very quickly going to start becoming one of the key focus points for onboards, new onboards on PulseChain. Come over to PulseChain because the yields, you know, the yield farming protocols are absolutely on fire.
Yeah, totally agree. And I hope, you know, like you're saying, when onboarding and people bridging in from other chains becomes just a, you know, a virtual gold rush, we've got these digital billboards leading them to us, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And at the end of the day, it's all about eyes on PulseChain. And yeah, everything that we can build along the way to help us get there while we wait for, because really it's just a waiting game. We're literally just waiting and having some really cool stuff to do along the way where you can actually earn money, you can engage with good communities. It's absolutely, it's shit hot, gentlemen. You're doing really well, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and with Envy, stable farms, there may, you know, this is an opportunity for all of us to build bags that are, you know, have their value, whatever crypto's doing, right? That, you know, will exist far beyond a bull cycle. So
Exactly. And to my community that are out there, I will be making some announcements regarding PulseChain USD, right? The Dev Jacob ecosystem first algorithmic stablecoin, which actually works and functions. There's going to be some announcements coming out about that very shortly. I was talking to Jacob about it yesterday. That's going to be really
which
cool,
coin's that,
right? So
the algorithmic stable?
it's the PulseChain USD.io. It's by Dev Jacob. So it's an algorithmic stablecoin which fixes the problems that cause Luna's collapse. It's coming to PulseChain. It's going to be, I personally think, and Superman also from the Kryptonite show, we both correctly think that this is probably going to be almost like a flagship protocol for PulseChain, because you know no one has got an algorithmic stablecoin right.
Right.
No
Oh,
one.
no, they haven't. Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
exciting. And yeah, so stables and pegged assets are absolutely candidates for Envy farms.
Yeah,
We'll be,
exactly.
yeah, we posted on that. Very cool.
Yeah, so we've got that. There are some. I'm setting up maybe a Mafia Dawn's stream, which will be coming up soon as well. Guys, so keep your eyes peeled for that. And yeah, there's a bunch of stuff on chain. There's actually bunches and bunches of stuff that's coming out. There's bunches of videos. So at the end of the day, like, subscribe, notification bell, all the good stuff. And look, feel free to reach out. You know me, right? My DMs are open. I do try and get back to everyone in a quick and timely manner. If you have any questions here for the team, and you're welcome to ask me. I'm more than happy to pass on messages also. Okay, so that's kind of it, guys. Really, thanks very much. I'm really excited about this, and to be perfectly honest, I'm already looking forward to the next stream that we do about this, because things are coming in thick and fast. Things are changing all the time, and hopefully soon we'll be able to add PulseBeats Miner to that conversation. It'll be good fun, gentlemen.
100%.
Thanks very much.
Thank you, sir.
Have a good evening.
You too. Have a good night.
You as well.